BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top trade. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi.
Hello everybody, welcome back. So, it's not alt season, so don't worry about that. It's not alt season, not going to be an alt season, but I have been touting for a week or two now, alt rally, an altcoin rally. So, two things we'll look at just quickly, and then we'll have a look at some altcoins just briefly. But if you want to look at more, you should join the Patreon, because last night we looked at loads of altcoins. Not all were created equal, but many of them were basically, were finding some kind of rhythm on the 4-hourly chart, ready to create a pump signal. Over the next 24 to 38 hours, 36 hours. I've woken up this morning and we're seeing some pumps across the board. In fact, just in addition to the XRP video I made yesterday, XRP ripping it up, getting quite close to a death cross retest on the daily. Top target here around 53 cents, maybe even the holy grail of 55, which would probably allow for it to go parabolic. I know what it sounds like, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start on the total 2. So if anyone watched that long video I made about the situation we're in, and the situation we should have expected, because I've been telling everybody about this situation since December, about the consolidation throughout the summer. This is your fractal of the bear market last year. This is the fractal of the bull market last time. This is our bull market, sorry, our bear market. This is our bull market. It's not perfect, but look, I mean, there is definitely symmetry to timing. Not to perfect each weekly candle body, but to timing. And look, we've been consolidating since the summer, or throughout the summer. That's what I said was going to happen. We're getting it. We're at the bottom of the accumulation range. We wicked lower, but we're at the bottom of a wick body basis. To me, it was as good a time as any to keep planting and sowing those seeds of portfolio building, which is what I've been doing down here and throughout the area. So look, we might be moving back up to the top of range. We might be moving back down. We could break down. Educated guess, which was set in stone since December, was keep your cash, your valuable cash, after having this alt season and then this extension, which again we said buy altcoins October, rally, hundreds and hundreds of percents just from a spot perspective. And I said, take profit. Make sure that you have plenty of cash for the summer consolidation. Dead consolidation. And then as we consolidate, I said, make sure we buy these areas, buy these supports. We don't know which one's going to be the low. Buy. And then soon, we're going to be smashing through. When I say soon, I'm talking like into next year. But if you have done what I've done, I'm not saying you should do what I do, but looking back at everything that I have done, it's been more than appropriate, I have to say. Anyway, enough of that. This could easily be the bottom for Bitcoin. Also, if we think about what we see here on the weekly, this is a golden cross retest of the total 2. Very bullish to get a bounce on a 50 exponential. We always want to see bounces on 200s or 200 simples because it gives us a much lower entry for a much bigger V-shaped recovery. But it is bullish to get the bounce around here, and we may be seeing that. That might be what we're looking at. And if that's the case, then the first area of resistance for us now is 1 trillion. The next after that is 1,069,000,000, and then moving up to 1.12, and then from that point you break out really. The other thing I was talking about on the Patreon last night, and again, you should join if you want to look at individual altcoins really, if you've got ones that you want me to look at. But as an overview, what we're seeing here is the Bitcoin dominance potentially breaking down on the weekly. It's a breakdown that would only yield a 2% move, or maybe even less. But that 2% move would be a big move for altcoins. Remember, if you go back in time, maybe about 10 days, and I was saying, I think we're going to get an alt rally. Okay, we're going to get an alt rally at some point very soon, and it'll yield maybe 20, maybe 50% for these altcoins. I mean, looking at some of these altcoins now, what are we seeing from their lows? You know, XRP is currently at 34%. Top target's obviously pushing 40. VeChain, what's VeChain doing? How much has VeChain rallied? Let's have a little look at that, if we can just get the indicators up. VeChain's done particularly well as well. VeChain's rallied a nice 37%, so we're more than halfway through these alt rallies, which I said was going to happen, and we're seeing them now. So if we're going to get an extension on that, we're going to see a breakdown on this weekly, and it'll come all the way down to 200 exponential, maybe at best. And then from there you get a V-shaped recovery on the dominance chart, which means altcoins are going to have a nice little time until they find support, and then they're going to not have a nice time again. Everything will go back into Bitcoin, most likely. It doesn't have to happen, but it's most likely. Remember, there's no guarantees in any charts or in anything. There is only statistics. That's all there is. Statistically, at the moment, we are at a resistance, a support, but if we take ourselves to the 4-hourly, it's not quite the same. The 4-hourly is slightly weaker, as we've had the death cross and we've had the retest, and we're heading back down again with short signals. The only other thing that can stop us from breaking down to that weekly 200 exponential would be the daily, which is sitting at 54. So all eyes on the 54, bit of a bounce around here. You've got to be guarded, and Bitcoin is still the strongest of the lot. When I say strong, I don't mean that it's going to give you the most back, but it certainly, as we've seen, and as we always see, sustains the least amount of damage. Right, so with that in mind, let's have a look at Bitcoin to see what Bitcoin is actually doing right now. Yeah, sorry about this. I've got the big C here. I'm just trying to persevere through my illness. Alright, so here we go again. It's Groundhog Day once again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 attempts now. 8 days in a row pushing this 200 exponential now. Wanting to break through it, and that hopefully we do. Momentum is still okay. In fact, the momentum is building even, so I would expect us to break through this anyway. Recognise this is a resistance, so if we don't break through it, it shouldn't surprise us either. But at the moment we are trying on an 8th day in a row to get through it. Getting through it is one thing, as we've seen around here. Staying above it is another. What do they say? Getting it up is one thing, getting it to stay up, that's something different altogether. So what we're looking for is a break and a close, arguably closer to 60,000. And if you get that, I think it should be plain sailing up to around 65, which should allow for these altcoins to continue with their rallies and give us the full scale 50% move from the last entry points, really, which would be lovely. Let's have a little look at XRP just to marvel at its glory at this point now, because I made that video yesterday. I saw some hate coming through on the comments, but now there's really nothing I need to reply to. The proof is in the pudding. The pump signal's played, and we're pumping hard on the 4-hourly. In fact, really hard indeed. We broke out from that 200 exponential, pulled back a few times, gained support on it, and this is what you're looking to see across any chart. This is what you want to see. You want to get above a 200 exponential. You want to see a closure above it, and then that's it, and you should be up and away. Now, because there's no moving averages above us on this 4-hourly, we turn our attention to the daily, and we're looking for this 200 exponential, which is a death cross, by the way. So a savage rejection should probably happen from here. So just be aware of that. This, if you're gonna get rejected on anywhere, it's gonna be either here or here, and it could bring us all the way back down to where you started from. So just remember that. Okay, as bullish as it looks right now, don't FOMO. The time to enter into anything is when the price is lower, not when it's rallying up hard. I haven't checked my Telegram this morning, but it would not surprise me at all to see loads of messages saying, is it too late to buy XRP? Is it too late to buy XRP? I'm not a signals group, mate. I'm not a signals group. I like to consider myself as a voice of reason in crypto, if anything. And the voice of reason would say you're approaching a major resistance, a death cross, in fact. And if you invert the scale, which is what we were doing yesterday, we had to do these sort of things. What you'd look at here and go, actually, this is a bullish chart. A golden cross, a retest, continuation, V-shaped recovery, and then some. This is our second attempt for a V-shaped recovery. Let's do it. But actually, unfortunately, that is not the price action, is it? This is the price action. Oh, right, yeah, so I see what you mean here. It's a bearish chart. That is a death cross. You're moving up into a resistance. Okay, fair enough. Don't buy it. That's crazy. What was I thinking? Just always remember that. If you want to make the money, you have to buy it low. And then you have to sell it high. You don't buy it high to sell it anywhere else. Right, so I think I'll leave it with you there. It's just an extension of what I've been saying this last week. We're seeing the rallies now. This is good. It's looking good. If Bitcoin can break this area and do something similar to what we're looking at with XRP on the 4 hour, then great. But for me, it's all been about altcoins these last few weeks, accumulating, and I'll still accumulate. Hopefully we'll get rejected and we'll come down even lower, so I can apply even more cash, because I'm only 50% at this point now committed to the market. I've still got 50%. I'm still 50% in cash, which is fine. Yeah, absolutely fine. You know, but I would like to see lower. We may not get it, but we may do. But still, I'm not going to FOMO. That 50% cash is there in the event that we do go lower. I'm all about building up a portfolio at this point. I'm not about taking risks, going crazy. The big trades are going to be the huge swing trades that have been given to us from these lower areas on the total 2. This accumulation on the total 2, and they will be given, you know, the profits will be made at a much later date, and there will be hundreds of percents again, just like the hundreds of percents that were made from buying here, selling here, and then sort of taking part in this latter stage of the rally. I'm looking to do the whole thing again, but you know, you got to buy low, you got to buy low, you got to sell high, you got to sell high. Right, that is that. I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Join the Patreon if you want to learn more. Otherwise, hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.